They smile, say, please, and look like a saint to everyone else, yet behind closed doors, their politeness is a weapon slowly erasing your identity while convincing you the abuse is all in your head. You are standing in the middle of a conversation that feels like a trap, but you cannot find the trigger. The person across from you is smiling. Their voice is low, modulated, and dripping with what sounds like patience. To an outsider, they look like the picture of composure, a loving spouse, a devoted parent, a concerned friend. But your heart is hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird. You feel small, stupid, and erased. Because you are experiencing the most insidious form of narcissistic warfare, weaponized politeness. They are not hitting you with a fist, they are suffocating you with a pillow made of silk. And because they are being so nice, you have no language to describe the murder of your soul. We are trained from childhood to equate polite with good. We are taught that if someone says please and thank you, if they open doors and speak softly, they are safe. That a nice narcissist exploits this social programming to the hilt. They use manners not as a tool of connection, but as a mechanism of control. Their politeness is a high wall they build around themselves to keep you out. Try to connect with them deeply, and you are met with a formal, stiff courtesy that feels like a slap in the face. It is intimacy anorexia. They give you the form of a relationship, the dinner parties, the public smiles, but they withhold the substance, leaving you starving at a banquet. This dynamic creates a specific kind of madness called cognitive dissonance. You hold two conflicting truths in your mind. Truth number one, they never yell, they provide for me, they are nice to the neighbors. Truth number two, I feel lonely, manipulated, and constantly on edge. Because the narcissist's mask of politeness is so flawless, you assume truth number two must be your fault. You tell yourself, I am the problem. I am too demanding. I am ungrateful. You internalize the abuse because the abuse looks like kindness. You are gaslighting yourself to stay in alignment with their false reality. Think about the social contract they force you to sign. In their world, politeness means compliance. If you disagree with them, you aren't just having an opinion, you are being rude. If you set a boundary, you are being difficult. They weaponize etiquette to silence you. Let's not make a scene, they whisper when you try to address a serious issue. Lower your voice, they say, even when you are whispering. They police your tone so they never have to hear your truth. They value the appearance of peace over the reality of resolution. The nice narcissist is often a communal narcissist. They get their supply, their validation, from being seen as a saint in the community. They are the first to volunteer, the biggest donor at the charity gala, the person everyone calls for help. This public saintliness is a strategic defense system. If you ever try to tell people what they are like behind closed doors, cold, critical, dismissive, the community will turn on you. He's an angel. You're lucky to have him. Their public goodness is the lock on your prison cell. Have you noticed how their eyes don't match their smile? This is a biological tell that survivors often spot too late. The mouth smiles, the teeth show, but the eyes remain dead, flat, and predatory. It is a shark smile. They are mimicking human emotion, not feeling it. When they are being polite to you, they are actually scanning you for weaknesses. They are observing you like a scientist observing a lab rat. There is no warmth, only calculation. The chill you feel in their presence is your intuition screaming that you are in the room with a predator who has learned to wear a human suit. They use plausible deniability as a shield. Because they didn't scream, curse, or hit, they can deny they were abusive. I was just asking a question, they say with wide, innocent eyes after interrogating you for an hour. I was just trying to help, they claim after violating your privacy. They hide their aggression in the gray areas of human interaction. They live in the ambiguity. And because you are a decent person who gives people the benefit of the doubt, you let them get away with it. You assume they made a mistake. They know they made a move. This form of abuse is a silent killer of self-esteem. It doesn't leave bruises, so you don't feel entitled to your pain. You endure it for 20, 30, 40 years. You wake up one day in your 60s and realize you have become a shell. You have spent a lifetime trying to please a person who is structurally incapable of being pleased. You have eroded your own identity to fit into the small, polite box they designed for you. The tragedy is not just the abuse. It is the time you lost trying to solve a puzzle that had no solution. They treat you like a prop in their stage play. The nice narcissist needs a supporting cast to make them look good. You are there to be the adoring spouse, the grateful child, the trophy on their arm. As long as you stick to the script, they are nice. But the moment you improvise, the moment you express a real need or a real feeling, the director calls cut. The punishment isn't a scream, it's a withdrawal. They turn off the charm. They treat you like a stranger. They punish you with the terrifying absence of love until you get back in character. You are not crazy. I need you to hear this. The tension you feel is real. The sickness in your stomach is real. Your body knows what your mind is afraid to admit. Politeness without empathy is not kindness. It is a strategy. You are being hunted by someone who smiles while they load the gun. It is time to stop looking at the smile and start looking at the weapon. It is time to deconstruct the nice narcissist. Have you ever felt exhausted just by being in the same room as them? Now let's look at their favorite weapon, the backhanded compliment. This is a sniper shot wrapped in gift paper. You look so brave wearing that dress, I could never pull it off. I love how you don't care what people think about your house. It's amazing you got that promotion. They must really be lowering their standards. On the surface, these are compliments. But underneath, they are insults designed to humiliate you. If you get upset, they gasp. I was complimenting you. God, you're so insecure. They entrap you in a linguistic game where you lose no matter how you react. They are masters of the concern troll tactic. They disguise their criticism as deep, loving worry. I'm only telling you this because I love you, but you're looking really tired and old lately. I'm worried about your memory. Are you sure you're okay? I don't think you should apply for that job. I'd hate to see you crushed when you don't get it. They plant seeds of doubt in your mind about your health, your competence, and your sanity. They frame their destruction of your confidence as an act of protection. I read comments from you guys all the time saying, everyone thinks my husband is the nicest guy in town, but they don't see the look he gives me when we're alone. Or, my mother is a saint at church, but she destroys me with a whisper. If this is your story, please share it in the comments below. You need to see how many thousands of people are living this exact same nightmare. You are not alone in this invisible war. Watch out for pathological helpfulness. They will help you even when you beg them not to. They will come into your home and rearrange your kitchen to make it more efficient. They will weed your garden and pull up your favorite flowers by mistake. They will offer advice on your parenting in front of your children. This isn't help, it is a dominance display. They are marking your territory as their own. They are proving that you are incompetent and they are the savior who has to fix your mess. And you can't complain because they were just trying to help. They use the smirk. It happens fast. You are crying, trying to explain your feelings, or maybe you just dropped a plate. For a split second, the mask of politeness slips, and you see a tiny curl of the lip. It is duper's delight. They are enjoying your pain. They are satisfied by your failure. It validates their superiority. But if you call them out, why are you smiling? They gaslight you instantly. I'm not smiling. You're imagining things. You really need to see a therapist. They employ the silent treatment, but they call it giving you space. When they are angry, they don't yell. They become a statue. They stop making eye contact. They answer in monosyllables. The air in the house becomes toxic. When you ask what's wrong, they say, nothing. I'm just quiet. They force you to chase them. They force you to apologize for a crime you didn't commit just to break the tension. They use silence to make you beg for the return of their politeness. They play devil's advocate to crush your dreams. Whenever you are excited about something, a new hobby, a trip, a creative idea, they immediately poke holes in it. Well, have you thought about the cost? What if it rains? That sounds exhausting. They pretend to be the voice of reason, but they are the voice of suppression. They cannot stand you having a source of joy that isn't them. They deflate your balloon with a polite needle, leaving you feeling foolish for ever being excited. The joke is their getaway car. They will say something deeply hurtful to you in front of friends. Oh, John would lose his head if it wasn't screwed on. She burns water, bless her heart. Everyone laughs. You freeze. If you confront them later, they roll their eyes. Can't you take a joke? You have no sense of humor. They use social pressure to bully you. They humiliate you in public and call it banter. They use weaponized forgetfulness. They never forget their own appointments or who owes them money. But they constantly forget your needs. They forget your birthday. They forget you're allergic to peanuts. They forget to pick you up. I'm so sorry. I'm just so scatterbrained. It is a lie. Forgetting is an act of aggression. It sends a clear message. You are not important enough to remember. But because they apologize so politely, you are forced to forgive them over and over again. This chapter of abuse is defined by the frog in boiling water. It happens so slowly. One backhanded compliment here, one forgotten birthday there. You excuse it. You rationalize it. You think, at least he doesn't hit me. At least she doesn't drink. You lower your standards until you are grateful for basic decency. You are boiling to death in a pot of nice, and you don't even know it's time to jump. Are you tired of explaining why you're hurt, only to be told you're too sensitive? The most confusing trap of the nice narcissist is their generosity. They give and give and give. But understand this, narcissistic giving is not a gift, it is a loan shark arrangement. Every time they give you money, advice, or time, they are logging a debt in a mental ledger. They are buying leverage. They want you to be dependent on them. They want you to feel so obligated that you cannot say no to their demands. After all I've done for you, is their favorite sentence. It is the invoice for your freedom. They use gifts to bypass boundaries. You tell them you don't want them to visit this weekend. They show up anyway with gifts for the kids and a home-cooked meal. I just wanted to surprise you. Now, if you kick them out, you are the villain. You are rejecting kindness. They use their generosity as a battering ram to break down your doors. They force you to accept their presence by wrapping it in something you should be grateful for. This is often seen in narcissistic parents with adult children. They offer to pay for the wedding, but then demand to control the guest list. They offer to pay for the house deposit, but then demand a key and show up whenever they want. They use money to infantilize you. They want to keep you in the role of the child who needs their help, because if you are an independent adult, they lose their control. They cripple you financially under the guise of supporting you. They engage in performative charity. They will spend hours helping a stranger change a tire, but won't spend 5 minutes listening to their spouse's day. They will donate thousands to the church building fund, but refuse to buy their child braces. This discrepancy is maddening. It proves they can be kind, they just choose not to be kind to you. You get the scraps of their energy, the public gets the feast. You are the prop in their movie of The Good Samaritan. They sabotage you by saving you. Let's say you have a deadline. They insist on helping you organize. They take over. They create chaos. They ask a million questions. You end up missing the deadline. Then they comfort you. It's okay, you did your best. They engineered your failure so they could be the one to comfort you. They want you broken so they can be the glue. They feed on your incompetence. The martyr complex is their shield. They do things you didn't ask for, and then complain about how exhausted they are. I slaved over a hot stove all day for you. I drove 3 hours to get this. You want to scream, I didn't ask you to. But you can't. You have to say, thank you. You have to soothe them. They manufacture a crisis of their own making so they can be worshipped for enduring it. They use the inheritance as a weapon. For older survivors, this is a common theme. The nice narcissist dangles the will like a carrot. One day, this will all be yours. They use it to pit siblings against each other. They use it to ensure you keep visiting, keep calling, keep enduring the abuse. They turn their death into a final act of control. It is financial blackmail from beyond the grave. They invade your privacy for your own good. They open your mail. They check your phone. They talk to your doctors. I just want to make sure you're taking care of yourself. They strip you of your autonomy and call it love. If you object, they act hurt. I have nothing to hide from you. Why do you have secrets from me? They weaponize the concept of intimacy to destroy your boundaries. They monopolize the conversation with polite monologues. They don't interrupt you. They just wait for you to stop talking so they can bring the focus back to themselves. Or they ask you questions, but only to gather ammunition to use against you later. So, how is your diet going? Isn't a question. It's a setup for a lecture or a judgment. Conversation with them is not an exchange. It is an interview where you are always failing. The guilt is the design. It is the bars of the cage. If you relate to this, let us know below. How did they use money or gifts to silence you? Your story helps others break the spell. If you try to leave, or if you fight back, the nice narcissist initiates the whisper campaign. They don't scream at you in the street. They destroy you over tea and coffee. They go to your shared friends, your family, your church group. They look devastated. They lower their voice. I'm really worried about name, they say. She's been acting so erratic lately. I think she's having a breakdown. They frame your reaction to their abuse as mental instability. They recruit flying monkeys who think they are doing God's work. These are good people, your aunt, your neighbor, who have been manipulated by the narcissist's saint persona. They come to you with furrowed brows. Your mother loves you so much. Why are you doing this to her? He's such a good man. You need to forgive him. You are attacked by the people who should be supporting you. The narcissist has weaponized your community against you. This is perspecticide by proxy. They kill your perspective in the minds of everyone else. They rewrite history. They tell stories where they are the hero and you are the villain, or the sick one. I've tried everything to help him, they sigh. They harvest pity, narcissistic supply, from the audience while destroying your reputation. They isolate you not by locking you in a room, but by making you a pariah in your own social circle. They use triangulation to keep everyone separate. They tell you your sister is mad at you. They tell your sister you are mad at her. They create friction so that you don't talk to each other. If you talked, you might compare notes. You might figure out the lie. They position themselves as the gatekeeper of information. All communication goes through them, giving them total control over the narrative. They provoke reactive abuse to prove their point. They poke you in private until you explode. Then they simply step back and let the audience see your anger. See, their calmness says, I told you she was unstable. You look like the abuser because you are yelling. They look like the victim because they are calm. They have successfully transferred their chaos into your body, and now you are carrying the shame of it. They hide behind religious or spiritual language. I'm praying for him, they tell the prayer group, while secretly revealing your private struggles. God hates divorce. They use to guilt you into staying. They use scripture as a weapon to enforce compliance. They claim a moral high ground that makes it impossible to challenge them without looking like you are challenging God himself. They sabotage your success to keep you humble. If you get a new job or lose weight, they whisper to others, I hope she doesn't get a big head. I worry he's neglecting the family. They undermine your achievements because your success threatens their control. They want you small. They want you struggling. It is easier to be the savior when the victim is constantly drowning. They never discard you completely. They keep you on the shelf. Even after a breakup, they want to stay friends. So they can keep managing your image. So they can keep tabs on you. We're still close, they tell people, implying that the breakup wasn't that bad, or that you are still dependent on them. They use the guise of polite friendship to continue the manipulation. The isolation is profound. You stop talking to people because you don't know who to trust. You don't know who has been poisoned by their lies. You withdraw. You become the hermit they accused you of being. The prophecy fulfills itself. You are alone with your truth, screaming into a void, while they are surrounded by admirers. But listen to me, the truth has a vibration. Lies require constant maintenance. The nice narcissist is exhausted. They are running around spinning plates, trying to keep the facade alive. You don't need to win the PR battle. You just need to survive. The people who believe the lies are not your people. Let them go. The truth will eventually come out, usually when the narcissist gets old and the mask slips because they are too tired to hold it up. The moment of liberation comes when you give yourself permission to be rude. I don't mean being cruel. I mean breaking the social contract they use to enslave you. You have to be willing to not smile back. You have to be willing to walk away while they are talking. You have to be willing to say no without adding sorry to the end of it. You have to be willing to be the bad guy in their story to be the hero in yours. Stop justify, argue, defend, explain. You have spent years explaining your feelings to them, thinking, if I just find the right words, they will understand. They understand fine. They just don't care. Stop casting your pearls before swine. When they bait you with a polite insult, give them nothing. Give them gray rock. Be as boring as a stone. That's an interesting opinion, you say, and walk away. Starve them of your reaction. You must mourn the nice person. This is hard. You have to accept that the nice person never existed. That was a character played by an actor. The actor is a predator. You are grieving a phantom. It is okay to cry. It is okay to feel betrayed. But do not go back to the cemetery looking for life. The relationship was a mirage. Radical acceptance is the water that will save you. Reclaim your reality. Write it down. Keep a journal. When they gaslight you, go back to your notes. I am not crazy. This happened. Trust your gut. That sick feeling in your stomach? That is your biological alarm system. It has been right for 30 years. Start listening to it. Your intuition is the one thing they could not kill. Build a firewall. If you cannot go no contact, go low contact. Create structured, limited interactions. Do not give them access to your inner world. Do not tell them your dreams, your fears, or your struggles. They lost the right to that intimacy when they weaponized it. Treat them like a polite stranger at a bus stop. Civil, distant, and guarded. Prepare for the extinction burst. When you stop playing their game, the nice narcissist might get nasty. The mask might drop completely. They might rage. They might sue. They might escalate the smear campaign. Do not be afraid. This means you are winning. This means you have cut their supply. Stand firm. Document everything. The storm will pass, and you will be standing on the other side. Reconnect with your 3D self. You have been living as a 2D cardboard cutout to please them. You are a 3D human being with messy emotions, loud laughs, and valid needs. Rediscover the parts of you they tried to prune away. Wear the clothes they hated. Eat the food they criticized. Take up the space they denied you. Your legacy is not their approval. For the older survivors, do not waste your twilight years trying to get a thank you that is never coming. Your legacy is your freedom. Your legacy is breaking the cycle so your children and grandchildren don't think this is what love looks like. Show them that it is never too late to choose dignity. You are stronger than you know. You survived a psychological war zone without a helmet. You carried the weight of their ego for decades. Put it down. You have served your time. You are free. The door was locked from the inside by your own doubt. You have the key. It is called truth. They wanted to bury you under their politeness. But they forgot that you are a seed. All the dirt they threw on you? It only helped you grow. Rise up. Break through the soil. The sun is waiting for you. And this time, the warmth is real. Walk into the light and leave the shadow behind. You made it. You're out.